welcome back to Carib 21 Network. So I'm downtown Toronto, Nathan Phillips Square, and today is Trinidad and Tobago Day, downtown Toronto, and we're celebrating all things from the beautiful Twin Island of Trinidad and Tobago. We're celebrating the food, we're celebrating the culture, we're celebrating music. So let's go celebrate. So yes, I'm downtown Toronto, Nathan Phillips Square, and we're celebrating all things Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
And I'm here with my first interview. Can you introduce yourself? What is your name?
Hi, my name is Michelle.
Michelle?
Yes.
Okay, and you said you're Trini, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so how does it feel that like you're hundreds of miles away from Trinidad and Tobago in a big city like Toronto, and today we're celebrating all things Trinidad and Tobago? How does that make you feel?
I think it's important for the culture because I think Toronto is very multicultural, and I think it's necessary for everybody to get an understanding of the different cultures that are in the city. Of course, we have Carnival, but I think these individual festivals give a great opportunity to come on up, get a taste of food, get to see people, the culture. I think it's great.
Okay, nice. And how does it feel, from being such a small island? There's like over 200 countries in the world. There are countries that people have never heard the name of before, but such a small twin island of Trinidad and Tobago, and have contributed so much to the world in terms of Carnival, in terms of food and culture. How does it make you feel as someone from such a small island with such a big footprint on the world?
I think it's amazing to see it. I mean, again, I'm born here, but my parents are Trinidad, so I've seen both worlds. And to know that over the years, how much more the culture has expanded, and to see that more people are more into the culture. And I think it's all of the islands, not just Trinidad. I think it's great that for all of our all small islands, we all have a presence in some way.
Yeah.
And considering Trinidad how small it is, and it's carnival culture and all those things, it's amazing to see that we can be in a place that allows for the multiculturalism to shine and for everybody to get to experience it.
Okay. Yeah, so in recent times, Trinidad and Tobago, they have been going through a bit of a turmoil in terms of state of emergency, and now we're seeing that the U.S. presence is close to Trinidad and Tobago. Are you nervous about the future in terms of what is going on between Venezuela and the U.S. and that Trinidad and Tobago is pretty much like less than 90 miles away from? How does it make you feel nervous?
It is nervous. It's nerve-wracking to see what's happening, but I think it's not just in Trinidad, it's across the board. There's a lot of things that are happening right now. I'm concerned, obviously, for the island, but also the rest of the island, because all of the islands are in a vulnerable place. We don't know what can happen. So hopefully it doesn't turn into anything, but it is nerve-wracking, for sure.
Okay, so final question. So you have been here all day. What's your favorite thing to eat from? What is your favorite? I know there's doubles, there's like roti, there's like bacon sharks. What's your favorite thing? And if someone that has never tried Trini food before, what would you recommend?
There's so much to choose from. Because of what you like. I'm a roti girl, I'm a Palau girl. I always want to go for those things, but there's doubles, there's all kind of other baked goods and whatnot. So if you're not here, try it out.
One thing I noticed like pilau is a good Trinidadian dish, but it doesn't seem to be as mainstream as doubles and roti. Why is that?
Even when you're in Trinidad, still, you're going to see most of the doubles, the roti. Pilau is more something you see people eating at home. You will go some places and get it, but I think it's just something that we're just used to having it here like this. But it's only when you go to these festivals that you get it. Most places don't sell it. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you very much for stopping and being my first interview. It was nice meeting you. Okay, take care. Have a good one. Okay, so I'm here with Cherie, and Cherie, you said your parents, your mom is from Trinidad and Tobago?
Yes.
So how does it feel to be in downtown Toronto, one of the most multicultural cities in the entire world, and you're celebrating the culture of a small twin island, Trinidad and Tobago, that has had such a big impact on the world?
So this for me is everything. I actually moved back from Alberta, and one of the reasons I moved back is for culture, for my kids, for them to be able to be immersed in some of the culture that I grew up in. And so to bring them here, to see the music, to see the people, to see the pride, and also to highlight a lot of the contributions that Trinidad has made, not just around the world, but right here in Toronto. It just means that this festival is just a really amazing thing for us.
And it's so good because you said you were actually born in Canada,
Yes.
but you identify with Trinidad and Tobago so much because of your mom, right?
Yes.
And now you're passing it down to your kids. So like 10, 15 years from now, they would identify with the culture, the music, the food. And how does it make you feel to pass down that culture to your kids?
For me, that's really important. I think one of the things that why some kids struggle is that they don't know where they come from. So for me, I want them to know where you come from, to have pride in your background and your heritage, and for them to know that they're not just black, you're Trini. You know what I mean? And that means something to them, and for them to understand what that means. The food, the music, the language, the things that we do, and that's important for them because that's a piece of who they are. And I want them to be able to go through the world being confident in who they are.
What makes you such a proud Trinidadian? What makes you so proud about Trinidad and Tobago?
I think my mom comes from a big family from Trinidad. They came from Mayaro, which is well country, but they were always so proud of where they were from. And I always remember just the way that every Sunday she would make bake, and I grew up, rolling out the roti and putting on the tawa, and those are the things that helped me to really be proud of where I came from, and so I really want to be able to pass that on to my kids as well.
And Trinidad is said to be like the fun island within the Caribbean. Like everything about Trinidad is just fun. And I was telling someone earlier that last year, this event, I came last year and it was actually my favorite event. And you know that Toronto had like thousands of events throughout the summer, but to come here and to see how inclusive, to see like, Bajans, Jamaicans, and now today I'm here, I'm seeing even Filipino food on display here. What is it about Trinidadians why it's such an inclusive culture?
I think one thing that people may not know is Trinidad is very diverse, and so I think that they're also very inclusive. So Trinidadians, because they want to have fun, anybody can have fun, anybody can enjoy the music, anybody can enjoy the food. Because the reality is, a lot of our food, a lot of the culture was taken from bits and pieces of others from around the world, and so why not? Why can't we all have fun? Why can't we all coexist? So I think that you can see that here. It's just that it's not just Trinidadian pride. It's just that it lets people know that everybody can have fun. Everybody, can have pride from where they come from, and we'll welcome anybody. So to me, that's also a really good message to pass on to the next generation. Yeah.
Okay, final question. What is your favorite meal, Trinidadian meal?
Hands down, roti.
Roti.
Roti. A potato and chana roti. That with a nice little cool drink. That's my favorite. That's my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, and it was nice talking to you. Nice seeing you passing on the culture to your kids.
Yes.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so I'm here at Sweet for So, and this is a Trinidadian ice cream brand, and I'm talking to the owners. And can you introduce yourself?
I'm Sharon Tomasis, and this is my husband.
Frank.
And how did you guys come up with the concept for Caribbean ice cream in Toronto?
So this is actually a company that started back in 2020 during COVID. We started the company for my dad, Ian Tomasis. He's 87 years old at the time, and we wanted to keep him doing something, give him a purpose. That's why our slogan is homemade ice cream for a purpose and for a cause. So this was his purpose. It kept him going, and we launched the ice cream, and it kind of took off. The cause is that we give back to a local charity every month from the proceeds of the ice cream.
Okay, that's nice. And who's the expert behind the old idea, the recipes, the
It's
ingredients?
all my dad. So he used to make ice cream back in Trinidad.
Okay.
And when he came here, he switched to other things, but we definitely still had our homemade ice cream because I'm allergic to all nuts and peanuts. So he used to make ice cream for me specifically.
Yeah.
And we just kind of continued it, thought maybe we'd try to sell it, and it worked.
Okay, and where can people find the product?
So you can find us on Instagram at Sweet for So Ice Cream, and we take orders off of Instagram and we deliver.
Okay, and you were telling me about some of your flavors like sour sub, grape nuts, rum and raisin.
Yeah, so we are mainly Caribbean inspired flavors. So the grape nut, soursop, rum and raisin, coconut, mango, guava, but we dive into everything. So we usually actually take recommendations, and that's where we come up with more flavors. Right now we have over 25 flavors that we do.
Okay, nice. And you said you're Trinidadian background?
I'm Trinidadian born.
Yes. Okay, so how does it feel like Trinidad Day, like Toronto, one of the most multicultural city in the world, but still one of the biggest city in the world, and we're celebrating all things Trinidad and Tobago today, and the thousands of people showing up for the weekend to celebrate. How does that make you feel as someone from?
Proud. Definitely a proud Trini, and amazing to see how many Trinis we have coming out. Not only that, how many other cultures we have experiencing our Trinidadian culture. So definitely proud. And
okay, and a final question, which is a fun question. There's always a saying that Trini and Jamaicans don't get along, but you said your husband is Jamaican.
yes.
so I guess we can put that myth to rest, like, because you're married to a Jamaican, and I'm sure he's the best Jamaican you have ever met in your life, right?
He's the Triniest Jamaican I've ever met in my life. So he is the one that comes to Carnival. He is the one that drives around in Trini. He's the Triniest Jamaican. But yes, we can put it to rest. It's not true. We love them too.
Okay. Yeah, so, one of the things we try to promote on the channel is, we're all one Caribbean, and, my wife is from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I'm Jamaican.
Okay.
And I tell people, like, most Caribbean nationals that are in Toronto, New York, wherever, someone is married to someone from Jamaica, Barbados, St. Vincent, so we're all one happy Caribbean, so,
yes.
It's good. So I leave your information on the channel, and I'm sure people reach out to you and ask about, and it's for a good cause, because you said you donate to charity,
so it is for a good cause. So it's definitely for a good cause, and it's still giving my dad purpose even at 92 years old.
Awesome.
We're carrying on the tradition.
Awesome. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Good luck on the rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm here with Tisha, and luckily, because Tisha, I saw her last year when I was here, and you were actually on the thumbnail of the last video that I did last year.
Amazing.
And now we're here in 2025, and you're celebrating. And you said you're a Jamaican, Bayesian background.
Yes.
And one Caribbean, we're celebrating everything
Caribbean,
Trinidad and Tobago. How does it make you feel that Caribbean culture is such a big deal in a big city like Toronto, being one of the biggest city, most multicultural city in the world, and you're here celebrating Trinidad today?
It makes me proud because it just shows me how much work that we're doing, and we're doing the right thing. I know so much more can be done, but it shows you how many people really embrace the culture here, whether you are Trinidadian, whether you're oh my goodness, whether you're Tobagonian, but all the islands are here and all the islands are represented, and it's just so beautiful to see that people come together, make money, we can volunteer, we can show our resources, and we can participate and enjoy music and culture. It's just really beautiful to see that we can have something like this in our city, no violence. It's just love.
And you seem to be a carnival queen, because you're always decked out in your costume, and I guess every year the costume gets better and better.
It should.
So what made you so interested in the culture, like Carnival, because it's one thing to just be on the sideline, but to jump in costume, volunteer, and to do what made you so interested in the culture?
It actually started, 16, 17 years ago. I was a stormer, honestly. I didn't know anything about the culture to the extent that I do now. My parents were not heavily invested in Toronto Carnival or Caravana, which is what it was at the time. And so I had to learn on my own. And I actually started with the band Toronto Revelers. And I was in the mass camp, every night. And I was building mass, and I was learning through that process. And who knew that would have taken me, that was 2010, that would have taken me to where I am now, just truly learning about the culture, different islands, and what they have to offer. And it's been an amazing experience.
Okay, nice. So you started when you were 5, like 15 years ago. So,
Thank you.
for someone that's watching this and they've never tried anything from Trinidad and Tobago, food or whatever, what is your favorite meal? What have you had here today that someone you'd recommend someone try for the first time?
I would absolutely recommend the Chow. So the Toronto Chow Fest is here, and I've followed them for years now. I think since they were at Carib, an all-inclusive event, and I love them. The quality has gotten better and better over the years, and I would say try a bacon saltfish.
Okay. All right. So thank you very much, and we will see you in 2026. I'm sure.
Absolutely will.
All right. Take care. Have a good one. Thank you.
Trinidad and Tobago, make some noise for me, please make some noise! So you see when the shades come off, you know it's serious now, right? It's serious now. You ready? Let's go.
I'm here with Mr. Trin, the man with the best hand in the building today. So I actually met you last year and celebrating Trinidad Day. So how does it make you feel? This is what, the second year?
This is actually the fourth year.
The fourth year in Nathan Phillips. Okay, so how does it make you feel as I'm assuming you're Trini, right?
Well, born Tobago, but Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay, so Trinidad and Tobago.
Right now, today we're just trying to promote Tobago Carnival. Coming up in October. Every year going to be October, for the next 4 years.
Okay.
Right, well, in fact, for all the times coming, going to be always October. Usually the last weekend of October.
Okay.
Right?
So how does it make you feel from, such a beautiful twin island and the impact that Trinidad and Tobago has had on the world in terms of carnival, steel pan, music, food, culture, everything?
It is just unbelievable to see everybody coming out. Understand? Because all the diaspora coming out to support the system, to support the culture. This is what we want to be. This is about Trinidad and Tobago. We love everybody. You understand? I don't think you could go anywhere and find Trinidad and Tobago people that is not friendly. You understand? So for me to see this kind of crowd here today is very, it makes me feel very happy. Right?
So this event was actually my favorite event that I attended last year out of all the summer festivals.
Right.
And what I realized last year is that how inclusive the celebration is. Like you see Jamaicans, you see Trinidadians, and this year I'm even seeing like a Filipino booth.
But that is the whole thing though. We are one. Everybody is one. Right? And we from the Caribbean like to include everybody, especially from Trinidad.
Oh,
we have other islands and everything else.
So we're down
when
here
you come to Trinidad, you always feel like home. Always feel like home. And now being in Toronto and bringing our culture to Toronto and showing Toronto what we have to offer to the world, that's what we're about.
And they said Trinidad is like the fun kid in the Caribbean, the one that have the most fun, that laugh, that party, the fun one in the Caribbean.
Well, that's the whole thing though. When you come to Trinidad and Tobago, you never feel out of place. And when you go to Bago, you feel like you're home. Like honestly, you feel like you're home. Because everybody going to bring you in the house and offer you some food. Right? Especially, doesn't matter what time of the year you go. You go to Bago, you're going to have a good time.
And as you said, you're promoting Tobago, especially the Carnival.
Tobago Carnival coming up in October this year. So book your flight. Right now the government is working on getting a direct flight from Toronto to Tobago. Right? So you're going to have to stop in Trinidad first, go straight to Bago. That's coming.
Yeah, one thing I've realized is that I don't think over the years, I don't think Tobago was marketed as much as it should. I see an effort now in terms of marketing Tobago, because when you hear about Trinidad and Tobago, you hear about the music, you hear about the food, but normally you don't hear about the beauty. But Tobago is one of the most beautiful place I've ever seen. So why is it that Tobago was not promoted as a place, a destination for tourism years ago?
Well, you see, I mean, we always focus on a lot of the oil industry and other things, Tobago is a place where you want to go and really relax. So that's where the beaches are, that's where you have the Island Pool, the Carib, and that's where you have in fact, the biggest brain coral in the world is in Tobago, right? But a lot of people don't know about it because it is so untouched, it's so pristine, the beaches are so beautiful, people are so beautiful, right? One of the reasons I think, it could have been with the tourism before, but I'm not going to say that. I just something was missing, but we're trying to do a better job at it, right? Because we never really depend on tourism, but we will love people to come and visit Tobago.
I think it's a mistake to just focus on oil, because even when you look at places like Saudi Arabia, they are an oil-rich country, but they're still big on tourism. And I know it's never too late, because as I said, like Tobago is untouched, unspoiled, very beautiful. So I think now would be the time to promote Tobago. So it's good that you're promoting Tobago Carnival and for a lot of people to go see Tobago.
And it so happens that our Secretary General is here today, Mr. Fadi Augusta. He's also from Speyside, which is where the biggest brain coral is in the world. And that's the village I'm from as well.
Okay, so it was nice talking to you. And, I hope to see you in Tobago one day.
My name is Weston Mohammed. You can always find me anywhere.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So you're looking at one of the costumes from the King and Queen showcase. This is like one of the most beautiful costumes that you could ever see. One thing I must say about Toronto Carnival, the costume designs are impeccable. Big, beautiful design, and this represents Trinidad and Tobago so well. And Caribbean culture takes over Toronto for the summer. The summer in Toronto is all about the Caribbean, and Trinidad and Tobago is at the forefront of Caribbean culture in Toronto, Ontario, with one of the biggest Caribbean festival, one of the biggest carnivals in the entire world. The Toronto Carnival sees over 1 million visitors to the city of Toronto every year, and this is one of the products of the Toronto Carnival. Okay, so I'm here at the Pan Tobago booth, and I'm talking Pan Tobago booth, and I'm talking to, what is your name?
Quincy Moore, Public Relations Officer at Pan.
Okay, so can you tell me a little bit more about the organization?
Sure. So Pan Tobago is the world governing body for steel pan. We are based in Trinidad and Tobago, and we are responsible for putting on some of the major competitions that people may or may not be familiar with, such as Panty Panorama competition. We're responsible for lobbying to get the World Steel Pan Day at the United Nations, which is now August 11. So we are the world governing body for steel pan, and we provide assistance to regional and international bodies, such as the Ontario Steel Pan Foundation, organizations in New York, further up the Caribbean, in Europe as well. So we are that world governing body for steel pan.
Okay, so that is interesting. So how does it make you feel, as someone from Trinidad and Tobago?
Yeah.
And I know steel pan is one of the biggest things that came out of Trinidad and Tobago. One of the contributions to the world. Like anywhere you go, you can't say Carnival without mentioning Trinidad and Tobago and steel pans. How does it make you feel? How does it make you feel to be a part of, I know Trinidad, like even when you look on the map, you probably won't see it. And to have such a big fingerprint on the world in terms of culture and music because of steel pan and Carnival, how does it make you feel?
It is a huge and tremendous honor to be part of the organization in Trinidad. As you mentioned, we have small dots in the Caribbean. You can't identify us really actually. But to know that we have taken an instrument that was developed really out of slavery, and it has evolved since then into this magical instrument born out of oil drums and chrome and steel and forged out of fire. The legacy is truly amazing, and it speaks to the ingenuity of the people of the Trinidadian people, of the Caribbean people. And we're so proud to be part of the global ascendancy of steel pan, to see it reach so many countries throughout the world. Like we're here in Toronto, in Canada, but we also have footprints in Japan and in Europe, in North America, in the Caribbean, in Central America, and so on. So to know that pan has come from this small place and evolved into such a tremendous global movement, we're extremely proud and grateful to be a part of that legacy.
And one of the things that we love to do at Carib 21 is showcase Caribbean culture, because I think sometimes in the Caribbean we're in a bubble and we don't realize how big of a contribution we're having outside of the Caribbean worldwide. And to see, because I've seen like pan competition that's like global, that when you witness some of those competitions, you're seeing people from Asia, you're seeing Europeans that are some of these big steel pan organizations that are even winning competitions. Like you're going up against like a group from like China or Japan, and they're winning these competitions, So how does that make you feel?
Amazing. As we're talking about us not recognizing the kind of impact that we have, I am so amazed and pleased to see the kind of environment that we have here in Toronto for the Trinbago Toronto Fest. Thousands and thousands of people have descended upon here, and of course, yes, there is the Trinidad and Tobago diaspora, but we have so many persons that have probably never experienced Trinidad and Tobago before, engaging with these different foods, eating our food, engaging with our national instrument in such a major way, and enjoying it, and seeing it really, really love it. So we're very proud of the footprint that Trinidad and Tobago has in the world.
And what I've been telling people all day is because that I came here last year, and Toronto hosts like at least 1,000 events during the summer, and this was my favorite event last year. And one of the things I can say about Trinidad and Tobago people, it's like the fun people in the room, and the inclusiveness, that is what caught my attention mostly last year. Is that when I came here last year, I saw people from Jamaica, people from Barbados, Trinidad, Tobago, Guyana, like booths were set up from different islands. And today, now I'm seeing a Filipino food stand here. So what is it about the culture that is so inclusive of everyone else?
We really big on hospitality. Our nature really is a friendly one, family oriented, even if you're not family. And you see that manifested here and in the experiences you just outlined. And as a matter of fact, we're here in Toronto. The place is a little bit chilly, but I can tell you there's a lot of warmth here because that's what Trinidad and Tobago brings.
Yeah, and final question. One of the things that I've been confused about with Trinidad and Tobago, because like, you know, I studied the Caribbean, and for years, like Trinidad and Tobago is known as the, you know, the oil mecca of the Caribbean. It's known for Carnival, but Trinidad and Tobago has never been marketed for the beauty of, especially Tobago. Like I am so like surprised how beautiful and unspoiled Tobago is. And now we're seeing more of an effort with the development of the airport and them trying to get flights from Toronto, from New York into Tobago, like for Tobago to now be on the map as a tourism destination. Why did it take so long? Tobago is very beautiful, you know?
It is. I can't speak to why it took so long, but we're grateful that it eventually happened. As a matter of fact, it's so entrenched now that we have a Trinidad tourism agency and a Tobago tourism agency separated apart. As a matter of fact, Tobago is just a little bit lower down from where we're standing right now. So I'm glad that I can't speak to why it took so long, but we really are geared towards positioning Tobago towards being this hub or this lovely tourist destination. As a matter of fact, we have carved out its own carnival. Now people will know Trinidad and Tobago carnival that happens in about January, February in the year. But we carved out a space for Tobago Carnival in October. Yeah. And I think this year we're heading into the third or fourth edition of that. And we moved the panorama that we normally have in Carnival. There's a specific one geared towards Tobago as well. So we are making significant steps here at Tobago. And of course from a national level to make sure that Tobago is branded as a tourist destination that is desired by persons outside of Trinidad and Tobago, but also that Trinidad can support Tobago in that effort.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, and it was very good. I'm happy to see that there's an organization that's actually doing the pan-up, because pan, I don't know, like it's a brilliant idea. You know, I've heard that joke before that they say Jamaicans use the pan and jerk chicken, and Trini use the pan and make music. You know, so it is so good that there's an organization for that. So thank you very much. Okay. All right. So everything Trinidad and Tobago we're celebrating today. So how does it make you feel that in such a big city, Toronto, one of the biggest major city in the world, and that Trinidad and Tobago culture is on display for the entire weekend this weekend? How does it make you feel?
Small island, we respect where we are, big city.
And I know it's like the culture, because as you mentioned, Trinidad and Tobago is a small twin island, and I would say in terms of the fingerprint on the entire world, with the Carnival, with the invention of the steel pan and, you know, doubles and roti, Trinidad culture has gone past Caribbean borders into North America, into Europe, and for such a small island, twin island, the contribution is such a great thing. And, you know, how does it make you feel as someone from the rock of Trinidad and Tobago? Yeah, and what I love, because this was actually my favorite event last year, and what I love about the celebration here is that you can see representative of, like, you know, Jamaica, Barbados, like St. Vincent and the Grenadines, everywhere, and I even see, like, you know, Filipino food like serving here at the event today, so it's very inclusive. And okay, so final question. I know that there's been a bit of a challenge, especially 2025, with a state of emergency, and now we're seeing the US like very close to Venezuela, and there's like worry across the world about if there's any conflict, and how a conflict between America and Venezuela could impact Trinidad and Tobago. How are you nervous about what is going on right now in the Caribbean Sea?
I mean, they always have to be on high alert, right? They don't know what's happening. I want to like him up to that. If something is brutal,
All right, so it was nice talking to you, so continue to enjoy the day, and thank you for the interview. All right. Here at Carib 21, I'm on a mission to showcase the vibrant culture and the breathtaking beauty of the Caribbean while showcasing our culture and what is trending. If you want to support me on this mission, please subscribe. And if you also want to support, you can hit the comment section and buy me a cup of coffee. In order to buy me a cup of coffee, you can follow these instructions. Just click more. You will see the link to buy me a cup of coffee. Click the link. You can purchase 1 or 2 cups of coffee, and you'll be helping me to fulfill this mission. Thank you. So I'm here with the lovely Kimmy, and we're celebrating all things Tobago, and we're at the booth that is promoting Tobago. Can you tell me a little bit about your booth?
So I am here today with I am from the Commission Limited, which has entities that are promote all things Tobago and all things Tobago Festival.
Okay, so one of the things I've been curious about, I've been asking people for a while now, is that Trinidad and Tobago is known for Carnival, it's known for its food, it's known for culture, and it's known for being like an oil-rich country. But not many people know about the beauty of Tobago. And to me, I believe that Tobago is one of the Caribbean's best kept secret. Why did it take so long to promote Tobago? So you believe that it is the right time to promote Tobago? No. Because like when you talk about Caribbean destinations and people talk about, you know, beautiful destinations, they talk about St. Lucia, Jamaica, Barbados, Bahamas, but I've not heard many people talking about Tobago. But since the pandemic and, you know, like a lot of people are exploring now and seeing the beautiful beaches in Tobago and how Tobago is so close to nature, and people are like, where was this? Like Tobago, like we've not heard anything about Tobago. So, you know, why keep it a secret?
I mean, we've been popular in European countries for years. We've had a lot of persons coming from the German market, from the London market. Those are more of our destination-friendly persons. So I guess now that the Caribbean itself is now opening up and realizing that we are just as beautiful as they are, that people want to experience us now.
Okay, and there's been some back and forth as to, because I know a lot of people from Tobago want to keep Tobago as like authentic and as green as possible, and they see like introducing like all-inclusive hotels as like taking over the natural aspect of Tobago. So do you think, now I hear like Sandals is looking into Tobago again, do you think it is the right time to introduce like all-inclusive hotels, or do you wish that Tobago would just stay natural and people just come and like for the small mom and pop hotel? What are your thoughts?
So one of the things that Tobago is really known for is its food. An all-inclusive hotel would never be able to give you that rich, authentic food experience on the island. So we have this thing called Tobago Harvest Festival.
Yeah.
So it happens every Sunday, any different village that you can go to, and you can get that nice, rich Tobago food, something you never experience at an all-inclusive hotel. So that is one of the reasons why we do encourage that type of tourism rather than
Okay, and I know there's been some development in the airport in Tobago, and last year when I came at this festival, you were talking about introducing a direct flight, because sometimes people are turned off like from like going to Trinidad, connecting, and a direct flight into Tobago would be like a game changer. Are they anywhere closer to that yet?
As far as I know, and I was going to say that my secretary is working very hard to try to make this arrangement possible. So stay tuned, because I think that it's coming on board very soon.
Okay, and I know, personally, I think that Tobago right now is the Caribbean's best kept secret. And I'm normally right when I predict this thing. I predict last year I predict that St. Vincent would have been the next hotspot in the Caribbean, and now in 2024, 2025, St. Vincent recorded their best year in the island's history. And I'm thinking like Trinidad, no, Tobago is beautiful. Like the beaches are beautiful. Some of the islands, like off the shore of Tobago, very beautiful. And I would love to see Tobago that next. I know some people want to keep it like, you know, for themselves, but I can see Tobago becoming that place.
Tobago is open for business. That's again, Tobago is open for business. Our sector is booming again. and we are ready and we are ready to welcome folks onto the island. Trust me, although it may sound as though it's a welcome secret, we still have unspoiled, untouched, and undiscovered parts of Tobago that once they come, only when they get there they will realize what they're gonna get.
I know I see you guys, you're promoting like Tobago Carnival now. So don't you think that would be like too much carnival, like Trinidad Carnival, Tobago Carnival?
Never.
And do you think that Tobago Carnival can get to a level where it's like rival with Trinidad Carnival, or do you think it's just like a perfect complement to the Trinidad Carnival?
In the words of my grandmother, it's a for all out. There is no such thing as too much carnival or a rival in carnival. The thing is, the Caribbean is such a melting pot that each carnival has its unique thing. So in Tobago, we have this thing called mud mass. So while Grenada has oil, Tobago is known for its mass, which is mud. We boil clay, and we cover down ourselves, and we go to the street, and we have fun. So that's one of the things that you have to look for when you come to Tobago Carnival. You may not be able to find it anywhere else. Actually, you will find it in about 2 or 3 Caribbean islands, but it's not as celebrated as in the island of Tobago. So we will never be any rivals with anybody. It's a room for fallout.
Okay. And final thing, like I've been saying it to everyone that I've interviewed so far, Trinidad and Tobago, people from Trinidad seem to be the fun people in the Caribbean, the life of the party. And what I've noticed since last year is coming here, the inclusivity of the festival. Sometimes you go to other festivals and they focus on them.
Right.
But last year I came, I saw Jamaican, I saw Asian. Today I'm here, I'm seeing a Filipino booth. What is it about Trinidad and Tobago, why you guys are so inclusive?
We believe in communal. Like, we are very hospitable, we believe in family. There is, Trinidad and Tobago is literally a melting pot. For example, Tobago was colonialized by about 32 times by different people. So we understand what it means to be warm and welcoming. Once you come in and you get seen that Trinidadian or Tobagonian to be exactly what are we?
Alright, so thank you for your time, and remember, Tobago is the next hotspot in the Caribbean. So if you're looking for somewhere new to travel, you've been to Barbados, Bermuda, wherever, Tobago, the next place.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
Okay guys, so as I said, the festival, Trinidad Festival, is very inclusive. So now I'm trying jerk chicken sandwich. Looks good. You know, I just went to this spot and they had like bacon shark, and someone said that that was the best bacon shark they've ever had in their entire life. So I decided to try out the jerk chicken sandwich to see if this is gonna be the best jerk chicken sandwich I've ever had. So some jerk chicken with some coleslaw. Bread feels nice. Check it out. Okay guys, so this is Carib 21 coming to you again from another, what I would call a successful Trinidad celebration, Nathan Phillips Square, downtown Toronto, and this is the 4th year and not disappointed at all. Every year it seemed to get better, bigger and better, and this year was not a disappointment. So from Carib 21, Trinidad celebration, checking out, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content. And remember, peace. I'm out.